Happening, people? Back again. Oh, it's been a couple of weeks. Just been a bit busy. Just been putting some things together. Um, so yeah, it feels good to get back on it. Just as you can see in the title, the Manchester United versus West Ham match reaction. Yesterday's game, which finished 1-0 to Manchester United by courtesy of an own goal from West Ham defender Craig Dawson. In my opinion, boring game. Not a good game by any means. West Ham come to the game, not really wanting to win. In my opinion, they set quite defensive, and invited the pressure on from United. United didn't really do enough to win the game, but although they did get the winner in the end, as I said, from a own goal. But all in all, was a boring game, in my opinion. The lineup United had was Dean Henderson was in goal. At right back was Aaron Wan-Bissaka. At left back was Luke Shaw, who had a very good game. Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof at centre back. And then the midfield was a Fred McTominay double pivot with Bruno at number 10, Daniel James on the right, Mason Greenwood up top, and they're returning from injury of Marcus Rashford on the left-hand side. As I mentioned, West Ham didn't really come to the game to win. And then, as you can see, when West Ham actually put on Benrahma and Lanzini, there was more of an attacking impetus into the game. And they look quite threatening. There's not really much to go on with this game. Very little quality in the game. I think United's defending was actually very good, surprisingly. As I've mentioned previously, my preferred centre-back partnership wouldn't be Maguire-Lindelof. But they actually played quite well yesterday. Didn't really have much to do. And when they've got a double pivot in front of them as well, it's obviously going to be a bit more of an easier game than if they play with one defensive midfielder. But then, as I mentioned, like I'm very bored watching Man United. Nothing really excites me watching this team. As you can see now, I'm just a bit down because Man United keeps scraping these results. And although the most important thing is getting the 3 points, so they can obviously be in the Champions League from next season, I think sooner or later this is gonna all come unstuck for United. We've got AC Milan on Thursday in the Europa. Do I believe they'll get through that tie? It's looking unlikely because AC Milan got the away goal. So it's a very big week. Thursday, as I say, AC Milan, and then I believe on Sunday they're playing Leicester in the FA Cup, who are coming off a 5-0 victory over Sheffield United. Yesterday with Kelechi Iheanacho getting a hat trick, and he's in very good form. But yeah, just going back to the Man United West Ham game, with United, the creativity in this team is non-existent. I think the only creative spark in the team, and that's because the team is actually built around him, is Bruno Fernandes. But Bruno Fernandes is not a natural creator. I think with Bruno, he likes to just play a lot of hopeful balls into space. But generally, he's not someone that is consistent in creating all the time. In my opinion, he's not someone that can thread the ball for an eye of a needle. He's someone that will keep trying to play the long ball, keep trying to play the through ball, whether it gets there or not. And then more times than not, it get cut out. I thought Maguire played very well yesterday, to be fair. Not Maguire's biggest fan. But I will give credit where credit's due. He had a decent game yesterday against Antonio, who's quite physical. And also Lindelof as well was decent. There will be tougher games ahead for them too. But the fact that he keeps playing Maguire, I mean, I don't get it personally. I think Maguire is the most played player in Europe, and definitely in the league, which tells its own story, you know. yeah, it's a bit frustrating to see him playing all the time because, as I say, I don't believe he should be. But nonetheless, he did play very well yesterday. I think Luke Shaw at left back. I think Luke Shaw, give credit where credit's due. At this moment in time, he's definitely the best left back in the league, hands down. Um, probably at the moment in the top three best left backs in the world. The way he's playing, seems like Luke Shaw's he's been a bit more attacking this season. I think the last couple of seasons, not sure if he due to the injury that he obviously got, and he's a bit fearful of doing certain things. But yeah, he's adding a more of an attacking impetus down that left hand side. And defensively, as we know, there's not much issue with Luke Shaw. Not many players get past him. But yeah, he's playing very well lately. Um, Wan-Bissaka, steady game. I think when Ben Rama come on, I think but Wan-Bissaka did have to be on his toes a bit because I think out on the left hand side was Ben Johnson, who's more of a defender, and he wasn't really going to offer no kind of attacking impetus than United's right hand side. But I thought when Ben Rama come on, it was quite a test for Wan-Bissaka, obviously for his concentration. Defensively, as we know, he's very sound. But yeah, he didn't really have too much problems, and it was more of a steady game for him. And then midfield, Fred McTominay. I keep saying Fred McTominay. I know United have got injuries to Pogba, to Van der Beek at the moment. But if this is the way forward for United, I fear for United because Fred and McTominay are not the answer. For me, it has to be Fred, and McTominay should be used as a bench option. Or if Man United are actually being ruthless, he's not the club at all. But obviously, as we know, United with some of the appointments they've made quite recently, which I'll touch on in a minute, they're not really serious. So, but the longer that this Fred McTominay double pivot is in play, the team are going to be playing a boring style of play, and as I say, they will come unstuck sooner or later. And then when it comes to the big prizes they're trying to compete for, they're always going to fall short. Bruno, I think Bruno yesterday had an okay game. I think he wasn't giving the ball away as much as he normally does, which was obviously was a positive. I think he just had an okay game, nothing special. I know a lot of people obviously would just think, oh yeah, he got the corner, which led to the goal, which obviously by the rules, because it was an own goal, he doesn't actually get the assist. But that's what it's become with Bruno now. He can be poor for 85 minutes and then pop up with a goal or an assist, and then everyone forgets the performance. But in my opinion, yeah, he was slightly better than what he has been doing in terms of giving the ball away. Just an okay performance. Daniel James on the right hand side. Daniel James is poor. You know what I mean? He's very poor. The way I look at it with Daniel James, if he's at Man United and he's the starting winger, as what's been happening lately, that just tells you the problems that there is at this club. Daniel James to me is not even he's a championship winger, if that. I think he would struggle to get into some championship teams. That's how poor he is, But this manager, as I've mentioned previously, the way he sees the game is totally the opposite to the way that I see the game, and ultimately that will be his downfall. Just by the players he picks and who he's building the team around, which is a joke, to be honest with you. So yeah, and then we move on to Marcus Rashford. Rashford actually had a poor game, just come back off injury, so people will look at, oh, he's been injured. But if Rashford would have scored a hat trick, this whole injury talk wouldn't have been coming up. So just based on his performance from just coming back from the injury, was a poor performance. And to be honest with you, Rashford has been doing this for a few games anyway. All season he's been in like this, how he's been playing. I think what it is, because he's been scoring goals, it's kind of been masking over his actual performances, but his performances haven't been too dissimilar to what he put in yesterday. And then we go to Mason Greenwood, who played as a striker. Greenwood was a lot better than what he has been. Do I think Greenwood was was he the best player on the pitch? In my opinion, no. I just think he had a better game than what he has been producing, which is no fault of his own. As I said, it looks like he's not being trained. He's actually regressed in this team. Obviously, everyone knows what a talent Greenwood is. I believe under this manager, he won't fulfill it. But nonetheless, it was a better performance than what he had been putting in. So yeah, I mean there was some encouraging things. I think with Greenwood plays a bit like he's still in school. Like he just likes to. It's like he's the best kid in the playground. Like he gets the ball, looks for an opening, and has a shot. This is proper men's football, so he needs to kind of be a bit more intelligent and try to look for a pass at times. And just be a bit more aware of his surroundings. Not every time go for a shot, not every time rush of blood and then just hit and hope. Had one shot which hit the post, which was quite a decent effort, and the other shot which the keeper saved and turned it onto the post. I'd expect him to finish that, to be honest with you, such as the quality of him. But nonetheless, it was actually a very good save. And so yeah. In my opinion, the fact that he never made no substitutions is another joke. And this is the reason why I say they're going to come unstuck, whether they pick up more injuries, whether the players get burnt out. So they've got another 2 games coming up, as I mentioned, and he uses no subs, which tells you that he's relying on the players on the pitch to bail him out. And if that doesn't work, he doesn't really trust the bench, which is poor, really. So the players that you keep relying on will get burnt out, okay? And the players that you're not bringing on, when they come on, they're gonna have no confidence. And then, as I say, when United do go behind, what's going to be the answer? So yeah. So as I said. So yeah, 3 points was the main thing to get, I suppose. Performance, as it has been for the majority of the season, was very poor. I almost found myself falling asleep. That's how bad it was. But yeah, we move on to Thursday, AC Milan away at San Siro. My predictions for that game, I believe. I think the way AC Milan played him off the pitch last week told me everything. So I believe AC Milan will go through. I believe if United do score, I believe AC Milan will score as well. So I think AC Milan, the way they will control the game, and they had players out, and majority of these players will be back. And on the weekend, they actually rested, I believe 5 players, which they actually lost the league game, which shows you the importance that they're placing on this Europa League game. So I believe that they will go through. It just depends whether they want to try and control the game or try to go for the early goal, defend. But United are going to have decisions to make because United need to score. And AC Milan could actually hit him on the break with Rafael Leao. If Ibra's back, he's going to cause problems, and Leao will go out to the left. And there could be openings there. So it just depends to see what game AC Milan want to play, really, because I believe if AC Milan just sit in and just dictate the game and control the tempo, as we've seen with United, against low blocks, they don't really do much. So yeah, and I believe that's what AC would do. They probably just control the game and then just try to hit United when they need to, or if there's any spaces. So, but I just want to touch on as well. Recent reports with Solskjaer being offered a new contract, which will be worth $9 million a season. Now, in my opinion, if he gets offered the new contract, personally, United ain't going anywhere. Couple that with the appointment of Darren Fletcher to the technical director position, is nothing short of a joke. United's first ever technical director, and they hired Darren Fletcher, who has no experience in the role, which just tells you it's just um, jobs for the boys, really. You've got Carrick, you've got Fletcher, you've got McKenna, Solskjaer. This John Murtaugh guy is now the football director, and you've got people like an Edwin van der Sar who's been experiencing the role at Ajax. You've got Paul Mitchell, who was under Maurizio Pochettino. You got plenty of guys that were experiencing that role, and they choose to hire Darren Fletcher. Now, the recent reports that I've been hearing is that Darren Fletcher wants to bring in a guy called Nathan Collins, who plays for Stoke. He's also looking at Ben White at Brighton, amongst another player, which I can't remember the name of. Okay, now this is what I fed with United, that this manager just likes this whole British kind of feel to the team, and then you're bringing in Darren Fletcher, who's another one like that, and just by looking at the players that he's looking at, he's going to be recommending people like Ben White, who Ben White is actually a good player. Is he Man United quality? No. Potentially, he's a decent player, but I mean, you can just go and get someone else from Spain or from France or from Italy or Germany that will probably do a similar job to what he's coming to do. So, do I believe they should go and sign Ben White? No, and he's going to cost over 50 million as well, because I believe that Leeds wanted to try and get him, and they got turned down with a 30 million bid. So I can only imagine that it's going to be at least over 60 million to get him, which will be a waste of time. And then this Nathan Collins at Stoke City, I think he might be 18 or 19. I mean, why you would go and get him, I don't know. Me personally, I'm just sick of this whole British players coming in, and and you're gonna have to pay the British premium as well. But as I said, this is the way it seems like this club is going, which is a joke. And me personally, I'm just hoping that the club actually sees sense and don't offer him the new contract. Okay. Personally, as I said to you before, I'll sack him end of the season regardless. If he gets United into the top four, I'd say, Ollie, well done, but you're not really the person I can see taking us forward as a club. And it's ruthless, but that's what needs to happen. If you look at the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, there's no surprise why these guys have been successful over the years, because their mentality is to be ruthless. And if you're not doing the job and the football's not good and you're not winning things, you're out of there. And that's the way it should be. Trying to offer a guy that's won nothing. He's been there for 2 years and he spent 300 million. Players have regressed. I can't actually tell you who's got better, and yet they want to offer him a new 2-year contract, which is laughable, really. So, as I said, yeah, a big defining week for Manchester United and for Solskjaer as a whole. Europa and FA Cup, and this could be another season that United could actually end up with no trophies. And in my opinion, the fact that they were at the Champions League in the first place should be a sackable offence, because this is the club I grew up always being in the Champions League. And the fact that they're out of there, he shouldn't be in the first place. But they're sitting in the top four. They've got a nice cushion in there. Still a lot of football to be played. But this week is a defining week, starting with Thursday. If they're out of the Europa and out of the FA Cup all in 1 week, how can he stay in the job regardless of him getting in the top four? As I said, he needs to go, in my opinion, regardless. But Thursday and Sunday, if he doesn't get the results that are required, there could be no argument that he has to go, in my opinion. And personally, I hope he does go, because I don't really rate him as a manager, and he ain't taking United anywhere, in my opinion. I'd even argue he's probably arguably the worst manager in the league. I just think he's just got decent players that are bailing him out, as you can see by the style of play that Man United are playing. Look at someone like Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel's come in, and look at what Chelsea are doing at the moment, which just shows you who's a good coach and who's not. You know. So yeah. So as I say, roll on to Thursday. I'm going to be putting up some more videos soon. I've been having some good conversations with friends just on topics which I'll be sharing on my channel in my upload section. Make sure you smash make sure you smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel in the bottom right hand corner. And I'll catch you guys soon. Later.